Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome back to Light Language with Nubia. This is Nubia. It is an honor to be connecting with each and every one of you, beautiful souls. I have another Dream Time with Nubia episode that I wanted to share with all of you. In this scene, what I was seeing is it's like all the communities were living together, like in houses, like in ranches, but everybody had their own individual house, but it was like a whole community that shared everything. They would gather at night with bonfires, and all the children would be playing with one another. And I don't know how the government, they were very joyous in everything, and they would share their vegetables that they would grow and their crops, and they were very healthy, very loving families living in communities like these. I don't know how the government started offering money, like outrageous money, to the people that lived in the homes, like to separate them and take them out of that harmonious space. Basically, these families that lived in these communities could support themselves and do everything, being in a high vibration, having these communities like raise the vibration of everything. So to me, it seems like in the beginning of times when the government started infiltrating into these communities and just separating everyone, instead of being in that unity consciousness, slowly, like, the government started like offering like money to the families, and they would go to one, and then one would give in, and then they would start putting wood all over the windows and everything, so there would be one less family of that community. And then slowly, like, there was another one, and until the whole little communities were like no longer in existence. And I went in there and I was like, the separation of the communities made like the fathers go into like addictions, like alcoholism and everything, because they were given so much money. They were not used to having all this money. It was bad for the families having accepted, but I think they didn't have no choice, because they were like forceful when they were telling them this. So in another part of this dream, I was in the country living with my family, and we used to all aunts, uncles, everyone of my family, we used to live in like a big country home that would allow everyone to sleep there. Everybody would cook in the kitchen. It was just very beautiful. And all of a sudden, like, all these cars started showing up to our ranch, and all these people started coming. Me and my family, we were just like, who are all these people? Like, what's going on? But I went to talk to them, and I told them, like, what I got from the dream, it was that, yes, all these families took the money from the government so they wouldn't be in those locations that they wanted them to be, but they still wanted to keep on living like a oneness with all of them. So they started arriving at my house, bringing all their families. We opened the doors of our home for all of them, and what I thought it was interesting is that they couldn't talk. Maybe they couldn't speak our language, or because there was lots of children. There was lots of children really little, like, that are barely learning how to walk, and there was children maybe 5 to 7 years old, and then there were teenage children, and they all had like blue-green eyes. Like, they were all very beautiful. And I remember touching the face of a little boy, maybe being 4, and I was all like, he was really white, and then he had the most beautiful green bluish eyes, and I was all like, you're so handsome. I just grabbed his cheeks, and I'm like, you're so handsome. The little boy, they couldn't talk. I'm not sure, but he repeated what I told him, and he grabbed his cheeks, and the little cheeks turned like pink, blushing. He's all like handsome. And then there was other babies running around or crying, and then I was like, oh, let me hug you, like let me carry you. And you could just feel the immense love they had. Like it was another vibrational that they were carrying. Like it was so grand, I could feel it within them. And the teenage ladies, they were there, but I don't know if they couldn't speak because only if an elder told them to speak, then they could speak, something like that. And we were cooking food for them because they were hungry of their travels. And I remember seeing my aunt cooking stuff. The way that we would cook would be different because the older ladies, they were like in amazement of what they were cooking. Like they had never seen that before, and they were just like in awe of the different foods that they were seeing. While I was seeing all that, one of the teenage girls ran and she got close to me and she said, "You're so beautiful." She went back to like being shy and everything. So I think maybe it was that they couldn't talk unless an elder told them to talk. But they were very shy, like super shy. They couldn't disobey the elders and all that. I remember telling the ladies that they had beautiful children, that they all had colored eyes. And then the ladies, they didn't speak to me, but they all pointed to their eyes. They all had colored eyes, so that's why the children all had colored eyes. But it was so beautiful because like all the different groups of the different age of the children, they would be playing together. Like they were just so joyous, just playing together and just being a child. So I thought that was interesting. And from what I could see, it's not a modern home like the ones we have now, 2024 or in future. It was more like very like in the beginning of times where I could see the wood and the structure of the homes. It was just like maybe older homes. No, not even. I want to say it's just like when they started building houses, almost like when you see in movies, like where they were the Roman Catholic, hopefully they don't take this down by me saying this, but how you see it in movies that they would go and destroy like the little villages if they wouldn't turn to their religion, something like that. And I was being shown what happened at that time, how my family supported those people that were taken away from their homes. So that was very beautiful to see. I am thankful for all of you opening your hearts to these stories, and I'm always very grateful for our teams of light showing me this. They know I share this with you, all of you, so as they share with me is things that they want the collective to see, and I'm just honored for them to allow me to see way more than, normal people just dream about their families and like stuff that happens around them, but I dream galactic in time, and it's time for us to know the truth of what really happened here in Earth or in other universes, for us to decide how we want to live in the future. I love you all with all that I am, and I'll see you next time for another episode with Dream Time with Nubia.